Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
It was an early explosion and display of Phillies offense that lit up the South Philadelphia sky last evening. The bats were ignited early and often against their cross-state visitors, and eventually the grand finale was a gleaming rocket into the right field stands. The hit-and-run totals were lighting up, and maybe the spark came from someone who wasn't even grabbing a bat. That was a lot of fun last night. The Phillies and their fans hope they'll have the same offensive explosion tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's a second fireworks show brought to you by Xfinity. The offense provided some early fireworks last night. We'll see if they can do it again for Game 2 of this 4-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Last night, the Phils were clicking on all cylinders. They ran the bases well. They pitched well. They did a lot of things exceptionally well. And that's been the case against the Pirates here in Philadelphia.
They play very well against them here, Tom, in this ballpark. They don't play so hot out in Pittsburgh. They lost 2 out of 3 to start the season. But, boy, when the Pirates come east, the Phillies dominate them here. Look at their record all time at Citizens Bank Park. Tremendous numbers, have outscored them by a lot. Only not as many home runs. They're down a little bit in that. Look at the earned run average, 3.01. That's really low. And the Pirates well over a 5. So the numbers don't lie. That's why the Phillies have dominated the Pittsburgh Pirates here in this ballpark.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie also when we talk about Jimmy Rollins here in the month of June. He's been one of the best leadoff hitters in the National League, and the Phillies hope that what they've seen in June will continue for the rest of the year.
Plus, timing's really good right now. Jimmy's like a lot of guys, foot up, foot down, and he's really got it going. And, well, look at the timing right there. See, that's a changeup. If his timing isn't right, he's probably just going to pop that ball up somewhere, but he got enough to get it out of the ballpark. And now a bullet right back at David Price the other day for a hit to lead off the game. Later on, and Price was throwing the ball about as well as anybody we've seen all year. He hits that home run down the line. Last night he led off with a double, and then later on a long home run off the Budweiser sign here down the right field line. That thing was headed for the upper deck at one time. So Jimmy Rollins right now is a red-hot hitter, and when he has these kind of numbers like he has in the month of June, the Phillies are a much better offensive team. A lot of extra base hits for him. His on-base percentage is very good. His slugging percentage also good. And Jimmy Rollins is one of those really, really good major league players that can still turn it on.
And he also enjoys fatherhood. In fact, all 7 of his home runs have come since the birth of his daughter. So we'll see if it continues tonight against the Pirates. It'll be Eric Bedard making his second start of the year against the Phillies. He locked horns with Roy Halladay on opening day, pitched well, but the Phillies won the game. And Vance Worley's still winless since coming back off the DL, but he's pitched well since coming off the disabled list. Well, last night, Juan Pierre, what an adventure he had in left field. He had it lined up a couple different times, but then, had to come in a little bit harder to come in and make that catch. The Pirates thought that might have been a homer. The lineup's at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. Get a chance to see Shane Victorino warming up in the outfield. Hunter Pence out in right field. We're ready to go. Vance Worley's warming up on the mound for the Phils. Game 2 of this 4-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And let's take a look at the Pirates starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in left field, Jose Tabata. Neil Walker bats second. Andrew McCutcheon third. Then Garrett Jones, the right fielder, is the cleanup hitter. Casey McGee's at first base. He'll bat fifth. Pedro Alvarez is at third base. He'll hit sixth. Then Barmes, McHenry, and Eric Bedard. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Vance Worley, who's pitched well since he's come off the disabled list, but he's 0-2. Phils haven't scored a whole lot of runs for him during his outings. And
they have unearned runs in his games, too. Combination, that makes it a little bit tough to win if you don't score, and you also aren't catching the ball as well as you maybe had in other starts. So those are his numbers, and they're pretty good, really. There's a scouting report on him, and everybody knows he uses that little comeback sinker. His last 2 starts, he's 0-2, but look at his earned run average.
6 earned runs in his last 24 innings since coming off the disabled list. And here we go. Jose Tabata will lead it off, a .226 hitter. And the first pitch of the night is fouled away. We're underway. It's no balls and 1 strike. Tabata last night was 1 for 4 with a home run and 2 runs scored. Making his 18th start of the year out in left field. That ball hit the bat. Oh, they're going to say that it hit his hand. It's it sounded like it hit the bat, but who knows? Well, it definitely hit something.
Yeah, if it didn't hit part of his hand, he's a heck of an actor too.
Yeah.
But it did sound like it. If that was his hand or
with
bone
a batting glove on,
that hit, that's a bad one.
Well, they're taking a look at the fingers right now. Clint Hurdle's out, has his helmet in his hand, trying to take that batting glove off. They're holding out the middle finger. Well, that's a great camera shot right there to check and see what they're working on. Oh yeah, it hit his hand.
It sure did.
What a sound that it made.
Well, you see him when he rolls over and everything. I mean, the guy was really hurt.
Yeah, that sounded like it hit bat, but it hit his fingers.
That hit his hand.
That's the second hit batter of the year for Vance Worley.
Yeah, it's not like he hits guys.
Ball just kept on running inside. Pirates have made a number of changes today. There are a number of roster changes. They've added Drew Sutton, who they acquired for the Tampa Bay Rays. They brought up Eric Fryer to take the place of Rod Barajas. Although Barajas is not on the DL, Fryer is going to be the backup catcher for the next couple of days. Clint Hurdle said that Barajas will have to deal with this bone bruise from yesterday's game. And now they have Tabata, who's trying to shake off the pain.
If he can't go, Alex Presley, of course, would be the outfielder they have. But Presley was not starting this game. He played last night. There's Rod Barajas.
Yeah, Rod said today that he doesn't think he needs to go on the disabled list. Clint Hurdle said right now, no. He said, but we're dealing with a bone bruise, so we have to decide what's best for the team. So they may make a decision the next day or two if it doesn't heal to put him on the disabled list. So a runner at first, nobody out here in the first. Neil Walker's the batter. Walker .259 this year. 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. He has 2 hits against the Phillies this season. Had a quick toss over. Tabata has stolen 8 bags. He's been caught 8 times.
Yeah, when a guy gets hit, a lot of times they like to run early. That's their way of saying, I'll show you, because there's not much else I can do because I can't hit you.
Well, they're dealing with a catcher who's one of the better throwers in the league this year. Carlos Ruiz has thrown out 32% of the runners trying to steal. Ever since I was a kid, I remember them saying that 33% was what they would like a catcher to be at. I'm not sure why that's the number that they would like a catcher to be at, but he's in that neighborhood.
You're over 30%. That's pretty good. You're also getting some help from your pitchers, too.
Want to know the count to Walker. And now 2 balls and no strikes.
Worley in his last outing really battled it. His command was not good. He ran a lot of deep counts. He's having trouble putting hitters away. But he did a very good job. And, this game's coming out a little bit wild. Hits a first hitter on the second pitch of the game and now misses away twice.
Outside 3-0.
See, everything's sailing on him. That's why he hit the right-handed batter, and that's why these pitches are going away. Now, whether it's something in his delivery or I don't know, but you can see we have a good look at it, the way the ball's sailing away.
And ball 4, so he just walked Walker on 4 pitches. So 2 base runners right out of the chute for the Pirates.
He can't command that part of the plate right now. It's time for our Nissan Keys to tonight's game. What another gorgeous night. Well, score and catch the ball for Worley, and that could be a formula for a victory here tonight. And be ready, because Bedard's going to throw strikes, and he comes after you.
Andrew McCutchen with nobody out, runners on first and second here in the first.
This guy's 400 with runners in scoring position.
Over 400 on base percentage too. And there's the first strike to Andrew McCutchen. Second strike overall for Worley. The numbers overall for McCutchen: 13 home runs, 46 runs batted in. He had a hit last night and an RBI. He has a runner at second and a runner at first with nobody out here in the top of the first. Inside, that ball took off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
See Carlos Ruiz set up outside, and he missed that by 2 feet. Missed his location. So right now really struggling with his control. The kid has really tremendous bat speed. He's not big, and he can drive the baseball.
Anyone got a piece of Carlos Ruiz. 1-2 the count. Eric Kratz is the backup catcher for the Phillies. Ty Wigginton is the emergency catcher. We found out today that Brian Schneider had an MRI on his sore ankle, and he has a high ankle sprain. That one not only hit the shoulder and the mask.
And missed his spot again.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Just underway here in Philadelphia. Top of the first, Phillies and the Pirates. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Ball went into the sweet level behind home plate. Somebody made a nice play. I hope it was that youngster. I hope he reached up, Wheels, just like those stock market commercials, and just pulled it down. A little more advanced than his age.
He did. That would be amazing, because that ball was a baby going in there. Hope Dad made the play. Like those stock market commercials, right?
Broke his bat. Slow roller left side. Rollins has it. Hurries the throw to first in time to get McCutchen. He did get the runners over. 1 out here in the first.
That was a really good play by Jimmy Rollins, because you know he's back at double play depth, but that's a full swing and a splat coming out of there on a broken bat, and he had to come and get it. And McCutchen is a complete player, right down to how he runs out the ball. Oh, here's that foul ball, huh? Yeah. That was cool. And he gives it. And luckily, the little guy didn't throw it back on the field.
A very nice catch by that gentleman.
Very cool, calm.
Garrett Jones has been one of the hotter hitters for the Pirates. 21 for his last 70. That's over his last 21 games. Phils have handled him, though. Last night he was 0 for 2 with a couple of walks.
Yeah, right now they'll play the infield back, give up a run for the second out. Try and stay out of a big inning.
And a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Worley's fastball you saw there was at 89 miles an hour. In fact, there are a couple fastballs at 89. He'll loosen up as the game goes on. Bright sunshine down the first base line. One ball, 1 strike to count. Swing and a miss, 1-2. That was the 2-seamer. He was able to tie Garrett Jones up. Little tapper in front of the plate. Worley coming, flips to Ruiz, and the tag, and Tabata is out at home plate. That was a fine, under control play by Vance Worley for the second out.
Yeah, I guess Tabata was going on contact then, or what he read off the bat. He felt he could score. There was a dribbler in front of the plate, and nobody could make a play on it. And Worley made a tremendous play on this. This is not easy. Right off the end of the bat. And as Tom said, under control is the key to that, with that little flip, and gets Tabata coming in. Can't tell right there whether he went on contact or not, but he sure got to the home plate area in a hurry.
Surprise you that he went on contact there? Well, on a ball that wasn't hit past the mound?
Technically, on contact,
you're going anyway.
Yeah, but
you can read it though.
When it's dribbled out there like that, you know, I want you to read it a little bit. But I mean, he could have read that's not going to be an out.
Well, first and third with 2 outs. Here's Casey McGee.
You know, the term going on contact means just that. And you know, sometimes even they get nailed on a line drive because they don't technically want them to go on contact with a line drive, but it fools them because they've already started.
First pitch to McGee outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Typical Vance Worley. Gets in trouble and then he really battles. See if he can get out of this.
Walker's over at third. Jones over at first. Breaking ball blocked by Ruiz, and it's 2-1. McGee appeared as a pinch hitter in last night's ball game, was 0 for 1. This is his 500th career ball game. Ground ball towards shortstop. To his left, Rollins flips underhand to Fontenot. What a job by Vance Worley to get out of this jam in the top of the first inning. He did not allow a hit. He hit the first batter, walked the next one. Scoreless as we go to the bottom of the first here in Philly. For the Pittsburgh Pirates defensively last night, Tabata had some trouble, and he may have run his team out of an inning in the top of the first, but Phillies will take it. We go to the bottom of the first. We'll take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Batting second is Placido Polanco. Hunter Pence hits third, followed by Carlos Ruiz, the catcher. Shane Victorino's in center field. He'll bat fifth. Ty Wigginton will hit sixth. John Mayberry bats seventh, followed by Mike Fontenot at second base. And Vance Worley on the mound, and they'll face 33-year-old left-hander Eric Bedard, 4-7 on the year, with an earned run average of 4.13.
We talk about a guy that didn't get many runs. They did not score at all for him early in the season. He lost his first 4 games and then only scored 2 runs for him while he was in there. Bedard will throw a sinker off his fastballs. Curveball, other than the fastballs, is #1 pitch. And then he'll go cutter and changeup after that.
Jimmy Rollins leads it off. He takes a cutter for a strike. It's 0-1.
56% fastballs, 27% curveball usage is what he has been doing this year.
Rollins out in front, picked on a hop by Alvarez, and there's one away. So a couple pitches, 1 quick out here in the top of the first.
Bedard, as Tom mentioned earlier, really went nose to nose, head to head with Roy Halladay on opening day out in Pittsburgh, and Phillies bled that run out on that short sacrifice fly by Carlos Ruiz that beat him 1-0.
Yeah, he went 7 innings that day. He struck out 4. He scattered 6 hits over the 7 innings. And again, the Phils won it 1-0. Next game he lost 4-1. The next one 5-1. The one after that 5-1.
Listen to the runs they got for him. You're giving those scores.
Yeah, as Wheels mentioned, they only scored 2 runs while he was in the game in his first 4 starts, and only 3 runs overall.
Pirates started out the year just totally inept offensively, and then, you know, they picked it up a little bit.
Polanco the opposite way. A big hop for the first baseman McGee. 3 unassisted for the second out. During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Graham Slab ice cream. Sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball program.
See, Bedard, just like we gave in the scouting report, he's going to throw strikes and he's going to work fast. And as a hitter, you almost have to step out a little bit. He reminds you of Burley in a way, who will probably, I think we'll probably see this weekend.
We will.
He pitched Sunday, didn't he?
Yep.
Mark Burley of the Marlins. What did they lose a bizarre game?
Hunter Pence in the air, right center field. McCutcheon on the run, out toward the track, out toward the wall, and it's off the scoreboard. Pence around second, on his way to third, and he'll get there easily. His second triple of the season, and the Phillies have a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the first.
Well, Hunter Pence, such a notorious first ball, fastball hitter, and the flag's blowing out again tonight from left to right. And it picked that ball up and it kind of sliced it away from McCutcheon. McCutcheon, I think, thought he had a beat on this for a while, but watch how it keeps going away from him. See, away, there it goes even some more, and now he can't get to it. If he had run to the correct spot originally, he probably catches that ball, but the wind took it away from him.
Safe at third, safe and secure with New York Life. Well, Carlos Ruiz has a chance to drive him in. Carlos, .339 this year against left-handed pitching. He's had a good homestead. He's 8 for 23 for the Phillies. And a curveball drops in for strike 1. 0-1. Third in the National League at hitting at .354. He had 3 hits in last night's ball game. Kind of fooled on that curve. It's 0-2. Well, he's got a runner at third with 2 outs. Let's see if he can add to those numbers. There's Pence. Bedard, if you're wondering, does not have any wild pitches this year. He's the kind of guy that you would expect could uncork a wild pitch or 2. Another curveball hit toward the hole into left field, a base hit. And a run will score. The Phillies are on the board, and he's done it again. Carlos Ruiz with his 40th RBI of the year.
Well, he looked really bad on that hook the pitch before that. That one got more of the plate, and a nice job by Carlos to hit a ground ball and find the hole. Mentioned Bedard likes that curveball other than his fastball. Here's another one. That one's up a little bit more. Hits it hard right through the hole.
So Pence's triple sets up the RBI single for Ruiz. 1-0 Phillies. Here's Victorino. Carlos, by the way, with those 40 RBIs, matches his total from last year. Back toward the middle, another base hit. Carlos thought about going to third, but he's got the guy with the best arm in the outfield out in center. Most accurate arm. so he'll stop at second.
They've had a decent approach earlier to him in that he's going to throw early strikes. And 2 hits on first pitches. Pence with a base hit or with a triple, and Victorino with a single.
Well, last night the Phillies really set the Pirates back a little bit with their aggressive base running. Ruiz thought about it right there. He talked to Murph about it during the post game, and Victorino had some things to say about the aggressive base running today too, Murph.
Yeah, he really did. It was, it was a big part of last night's win, and he talked a lot about it after the win last night. He said, they really wanted to force the issue. They wanted to, to force the Pirates into mistakes. He said, it's kind of been the team that they've always been, but they've gotten away from it a little bit this year. Well, last night they got back to it. He said, other teams have been doing it to the Phillies. You think back to the Toronto series, and Toronto was very aggressive on the base pass, and they made the Phils make some mistakes out in the field. He said that's what we need to be doing. They were able to do that last night. The Pirates ended up with 4 errors, and it was a big part of the ballgame.
Put a little pressure on the opposition is the thought process. Let's see if they could do it here with runners on first and second for Wigginton. Outside 1-0, and they must have talked about it as a team, because as we said, Murph talked to Ruiz last night, and he said the same thing. Kind of the same thing that Victorino said.
Well, they kept getting perfect balls to go first to third on 2, and there were less than 2 outs because you only make that last out at third base. So it was a perfect time to run. It looked like they were paying attention too, looking where the right fielder was, the speed of the baseball going out there. The balls weren't hit real hard either, and those are balls you can first to third if you're in the game, if your head's in the game.
Carlos also stole a base last night with the element of surprise. 2-0 the count to Wigginton with runners on first and second.
He's 3 for 3 this year.
Wigginton fouls it back. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Joe Fadden of Collingdale. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Joe will win $100.
You see the wind has already influenced the game the way it did last night, the way it shot it out towards right center on a ball that started out where McCutcheon, well, he ran to where he thought it was going to be, and it wasn't even close.
Good hitters count 2-1. In the dirt, McHenry makes the block. 3-1 the count.
Watching batting practice, if you hit the ball out towards where the scoreboard area is, well, look at this first inning for St. Louis.
5-zip over the Marlins on our Toyota Major League scoreboard. Yadier Molina helped them to a victory last night. He has a 3-run home run tonight.
He had a 2-run home run to bring them all the way back last night to tie that game in the 9th inning. But if you hit it out past the scoreboard where it's open out there, the wind really knocks the ball down.
Wigginton, a healthy cut at a curveball, and it's 3-2. That may have been a changeup. It's surprising to see a changeup at 77. John Mayberry's on deck. 3 straight hits for the Phillies. They lead at 1-0. 3-2 with 2 outs. Ruiz and Victorino will be off on this pitch. Hit sharply on one hop right at Neil Walker, and he fires over to first. The inning is over, but the Phils do score a run on the RBI single by Carlos Ruiz. They leave a couple. We move to the second. It's 1-0 Phillies. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Phillies out-of-market game live online or on your favorite devices at HD quality. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. We'll be hitting the road this weekend down to Miami for the first time to see their new ballpark, and then off to New York for a 3-game series against the Mets.
Miami had a 6-0 lead in that game last night. Wound up losing in extra innings. They had a bizarre lineup snafu to the Cardinals, where a pitcher had to hit, wound up knocking in a run on an infield dribbler. Just a crazy game.
I wondered why he was hitting.
Yeah, there was a miscommunication with Mike Matheny and Bob Davidson on the 5-hole. It's really hard to explain, but they finally had to remove the guy that was in the 5-hole, and then whoever they put in there, the pitcher has to hit, and it wound up winning the game for them.
1 ball, no strikes, the count to Pedro Alvarez. 2 for 4 yesterday, and it's outside 2-0. Well, the big story in that game was Heath Bell blew another save.
Oh, big time. 4-run lead. It wasn't even a save situation. He came in with a 4-run lead and gave up 4.
There were a lot of stories over the last couple of days how he had figured everything out. He was back, and bam, there's a strike. 2-1 the count to Alvarez.
It's always dangerous when you think you got something figured out in this business.
Well, there are the standings. The Phillies find themselves in 4th place, along with the Marlins, both 8 games back. Phillies have 1 more win and 1 more loss. Outside 3-1.
Yeah, the Phillies were able to get ahead for a while there because there was a half-game difference, which was made up somewhere along the way, and now they're basically in a dead heat with them. Not 1 loss, but percentage.
Second time this week the Phillies have moved into 4th place. There's a base hit to right center field. Victorino going to try to cut it off. It's going to go to the wall. So Alvarez will go to second. And he has a leadoff double. He is swinging the bat better than what we are used to seeing. And that's his 13th double of the year.
Shane Victorino, watch this ball hit the base of the wall here, and he barehands it and then throws it back in. Alvarez, not a guy that runs real well, so you're not thinking triple there. But if something goes wrong, you get a crazy hop. He could have had a triple. That was a good job by Shane, who got a nice hop, a nice bounce off the wall.
Worley had base runners to deal with in the first. Now he has a leadoff double to deal with as Barmes takes inside and low. A couple of these pitches are awfully close. Marvin Hudson, the home plate umpire, in tonight's ball game. In fact, we'll see all 4 umpires in this series behind the plate. Marvin Hudson behind the plate. Tim McClellan is the crew chief. He's over at first. Brian Runge at second, and Ted Barrett around at third.
Well, they keep trying to pound him inside. It's much more difficult for a hitter to move the ball to the right side when you do that. Now, sometimes they'll go and try and speed up his bat with something off speed, but right now they're trying to pound him in to make him inside out it. A lot of guys can't do that.
Ground ball towards shortstop. Rollins behind the bag makes the play. Alvarez, good base running, goes to third. And Michael McHenry is the hitter. Change the way you watch Phillies games. Enhance your viewing experience and check out In-Game Live on CSNPhilly.com while you watch every game. Join the conversation to view updated player stats plus news from our Phillies insiders with In-Game Live on CSNPhilly.com. Michael McHenry came into the ball game for the injured Rod Barajas last night and wound up going 2 for 4. Phillies play the middle infielders back and the corners even with the bag. Also play McHenry to go to the other way in center field. And Worley misses low, 1-0.
Yeah, they'll give up a run here on contact up the middle. If the ball were hit real hard at the corner guys and the guy breaks from third, then they'll come home. if it's any chance that you don't have a play there, you could hit the runner, you're going to throw to first base because that's why you're playing the infield back. Really having trouble commanding that part of the plate tonight. Right and left-handed hitter. You can see he's frustrated by it.
See McHenry's numbers this year.
Now they're going to go away.
And he throws a strike, 2-1.
He seems more comfortable in that area.
That may change as the game goes on. There have been games where you've seen Vance struggle a little bit with his command early on, like any pitcher, and then he kind of figures something out.
Yeah, right now he's struggling on one side of the plate.
Fly ball, shallow left center field, long run for Mayberry. Alvarez is tagging. Mayberry throws across his body, and it's not in time. A sacrifice fly, and it's a 1-1 game.
Nick Leyva's going to send him for them almost every time right there because the pitcher's on deck, and that would have been the second out. But he really had a good ball to send him on. And you see Nick there because he has to go to his left. He's not under control. He's not behind it. As Tom says, has to throw across his body. You can't get anything on a throw like that. And it looked like Mayberry's doing everything he could to try and get behind that ball, but could never catch up to it.
Yeah, and Shane was shaded toward right center, as we had mentioned. So he had a longer route to get to that ball.
Yeah, he couldn't get to it.
So a 1-1 game here in the top of the second. And Bedard takes strike 2. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, and in that case, is the outfielders, you know, you're not trying to do anything too fancy right there to let the guy get behind it and all that. It's the second inning. You give up the tying run, it's no big deal.
Bedard is 2 for 20 this year. Honestly, didn't look interested at all on swinging the bat, and he goes down looking. Side is retired. The Pirates do tie it up on a sacrifice fly by Michael McHenry. Middle of the second. It's the Pirates 1 and the Phillies 1. Settling in for the All-Star break. But first, a 3-game series against those Atlanta Braves. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 6th, 7th, and 8th of July. 2 night games, a day game. First chance to see the Braves here in 2012. Braves are currently in second place in the National League East. Purchase your tickets by clicking on thephillies.com. You can do that anytime. But Vance allowed a run in the top of the second. As you see, the Braves have taken a 1-0 lead over Arizona. That game's also in the second. Michael Bourne's had a good first half for Atlanta.
Sure has. Leadoff home run there.
Remember last week he made a catch against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. That was just unbelievable.
He's the best defensive center fielder in this league.
I think you have 2 of them here. No, 2 of them with McCutcheon.
He's good too. Very good. But I'll take Bourne.
He got up so high on this leaping grab against the Yankees.
Well, he is athletic.
Mayberry takes inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mayberry started to hit the ball a little bit better and then now has settled into a little bit of a slump. 4 for his last 23 with 8 strikeouts. He got 1 at bat last night. He was 0 for 1. 1-1 pitch to him. Fights it off and fouls it away.
Bedard's averaging 8.6 strikeouts per 9 innings, and he needs 5 more for 1,000.
Got the first 2 hitters in the first very easily. And then the Phillies got 3 straight hits to take the lead at the time. Line drive. And oh boy, that's going to hang up there for Tabata. It almost sailed right on over his head. 1 out here in the second.
Nothing you can do about that. He barreled that thing, and the other guy has a glove for a reason.
That'll bring Fontenot to the plate. Fontenot getting a start against a left-hander tonight. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. His average at .345.
He hasn't had much of a chance to hit off left-handers. He's 0 for 9.
Been a lot of talk about what the Phillies will do if Chase Utley indeed is brought back tomorrow, and that's the thought, at least to this point. Chase lined out in his first at bat for Lehigh Valley. The issue would be keeping somebody that can play shortstop. Now Fontenot has played shortstop a lot during his career. In fact, last year he played 37 games at shortstop for the San Francisco Giants.
Talked to Charlie about that the night before the game, and they have some things they have to do. Who's going to pitch tomorrow night? With the move for Utley, some things they got to figure out.
2-0 the count to Fontenot. And he hits it back toward the middle. That'll sneak past Walker. It's his first hit of the year against a left-hander. And it comes with 1 out here in the second.
Nice job of fighting that off.
And now you want to talk about a guy that's due. Now he's probably up there to sacrifice here.
Yeah, but he is due.
And Swarley is due.
There's that hit we're talking about. You see him pull his hands back and fight it off, get himself a base hit. He does have 2 sacks on the year to Dan Swarley, but he's 0 for 17. He's bunting here, especially with Jimmy Rollins on deck, who's been hot knocking in runs.
See, Worley's career average 0 for 17 is odd. Takes inside 1-0.
Ron Samuel putting down the signs. Yeah, you say odd because he has 10 major league hits coming into the season and 0 for this year.
That butt attempt is foul. Fontenot walks back to first. It's fireworks night. Fireworks after the game brought to you by Xfinity. It is a gorgeous night. A little cooler than even last night. Temperatures are supposed to warm up this week again. Cool enough to wear the Fanatic dangle hat.
Yeah, feel good tonight.
Nice bunt. Off to the right. And Bedard casually flips to first. Sacrifice 1-4. So Fontenot gets into scoring position for Rollins. Third sacrifice of the year for Worley.
Nice job. Got it down. Got it in an area where Bedard's not going to even think about second base. Get a runner into scoring position.
And the way the outfielders set up right now, Fontenot with 2 outs going on the crack of the bat should score in a base hit.
Yeah, Fontenot's a decent runner, not real fast, but he's a guy that can run and give you a good chance to score with 2 outs.
Rollins grounded out his first time up. Jimmy has scored 9 runs on this homestand, which just lets you know that he's been getting on base. He's also driven in runs, 7 for his last 13 with runners in scoring position. Tried to sneak a fastball by him, missed low, 2-0. Bedard has taken a long time in between pitches.
With the men on base. Without men on base, he's working really fast, but with men on base, he's slowed it up.
Being very careful working the corners against Rollins. Jimmy got the green light last night. Let's see if he gets the green light here. I asked him about it today. He said he normally has the green light, but he said when he's not going good, very rarely is he going to swing at the 3-0 pitch. Right now he says he feels like he's going pretty good, so that's why he swung at it last night. And he takes ball 4. It looked like he was getting in position to swing if he needed to.
Well, one thing you really notice in this hot streak he's on is he's running deep counts too. He's getting himself in hitting counts.
Yeah, they may have been careful with them there with Polanco up now, and they figure they'll deal with Polanco instead of Rollins. Tomorrow night at 5, Ron Burke and Phillies top sports writers have a full breakdown in advance of the Phillies Game 3 series against the Pirates. Plus, CSNPhilly.com insider D. Lineham has the latest on Doug Collins and company as they get set for Thursday's NBA draft. Plenty to talk about on Daily News Live tomorrow at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Big story out yesterday that Jared Sullinger, the very talented big man from Ohio State, has not been invited to the draft because his stock has dropped so much because of reports of a bad back, which his family says it's just a muscle issue. It's not a bone issue.
It's a dollars issue, huh?
Well, it is, but whoever gets him late in the first round, they might get a pretty good player. 0-1 the count to Polanco. Grounded out his first time up. Takes a curve for strike 2. I think he thought that was a little high and maybe a little outside.
Yeah, he's not too happy with the first 2 pitches. The first pitch was outside. That one was pretty close.
Polanco has had 2 hits in each of the last 2 games. Nice to pick up those multi-hit games. A liner to left field. That's going to drop for a hit. Fontenot around third, heading for home. The throw by Tabata, cut off by Alvarez. Rollins in a run down, and he's tagged out. And the Phillies take the lead. 2-1 Phillies on the base hit by Placido Polanco. I don't know if Rollins wanted to do that to try to make sure the run would score. It was probably going to score anyway. I think he might have just wanted to get to third base. But the Phillies retake the lead as we go to the 3rd. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, can you name the two men who managed the Pirates in 2005? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Pretty confident nod of your head there.
Well, you know, it's on the delivery.
Jose Tabata leads it off and takes a breaking ball outside. Tabata hit by a pitch his first time up, thrown out at the plate, and a nice play by Worley in that first. Phillies with 2 runs now on 5 hits. The RBI single by Placido Polanco. We got a chance to see the replay of the play where Rollins was tagged out at third. There's a fly ball to left, not deep. Rollins out there, and he'll make the catch. I think it goes back to what they said after last night's game, that the Phillies are trying to be extra aggressive on the base paths. Watch Jimmy go around second. I mean, he was thinking third the whole way on this.
Yeah, now there's all kinds of points in the game where sometimes you'll do this on purpose. See, the cutoff man's going to get here. Here's where the runner is. What you have to do is read it, and then you decide, all right, I'm going to make him cut this off to make sure that this guy can score. Well, in this case, it looks like he's going to score probably pretty easily. He throws off line and weak. And Jimmy, in this case, whether he didn't read where the cutoff guy was, whether he thought they were going to let it go through, he gets caught there in the runner. But sometimes they do that on purpose, especially late in the game when you're trying to get a run.
I think a good throw had a chance to get Fontenot, but Tabata didn't make a good throw.
No, it was out of gas when it
had a chance. I mean, it may have been a bang play. He may have been safe, but a good throw. So you wonder if that's what was in Jimmy's mind as he was going around second.
Well, when you're from our angle here too, it even looked like it was offline. I don't know.
That ball is rocketed foul.
Hey, I think it comes down to he was trying to get to third base on that, and he knows he made a mistake because you don't want to make that last out at third on a play like that when the run's probably going to score.
Walker walked his first time up. It's even 1 ball and 1 strike to him here in the top of the third. Outside, 2-1. Fastball to 91 now for Vance.
Well, when he starts to command away a little bit better, the left-handed hitters, and in on the right-handed hitters, then that other stuff's going to be all right.
Over to second, Fontenot, diving stop to a knee, flips to first, dug out by Wigginton. Good job all the way around. Heck of a break by Fontenot to get to that spot, and then he was able to get enough on the 1-hop throw from his knee to get Neil Walker.
Yeah, this is a really good play. I mean, all he can do right there is go full extension, dive, and then throw it in the area and hope his first baseman can help him. There's the first part. Here's the second part. And then at the end, Wigginton does his job. And it's a really good-looking play.
Puts the second out of the board, and McCutchen, who grounded out to short his first time up.
Yeah, it's nice with this guy coming up. You know, the Worley's 2 outs, nobody on base, and pitching out the windup and not the stretch. Phillies with a couple 2-out hits in this game for their runs. That's always nice.
Down and away, 3-1 the count to McCutchen. Three and 2 the count. on the outside corner. That two-seamer snuck right onto the black. A 1-2-3 third inning for Worley. He's retired 6 straight. That'll take us to the bottom of the third. The Phils up 2-1. Ford is America's brand. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus Ford store today. Buy AT&T. Rethink possible. And buy Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. Oh, it's a gorgeous night here in Philadelphia. Phil's up 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. We'll say hi to everybody.
What's up?
They're all waving to us. You like what's up?
What's up? Sarge uses that sometimes.
Yeah, but he's got a little style when he says it.
Yeah, I can't do it like Sarge. Can't do many things like Sarge.
Hunter Pence takes a strike. Pence triple to right center field his first time up. Third hit of the series. Ground ball right past Juan Samuel. Oh, 2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes the count to Hunter Pence. To left field. And Tabata is there. First out of the inning. With 1 out, Carlos Ruiz is due up. Oh, Chase Utley at Lehigh Valley. There he is. He's wearing, what number is it? 21. Line drive, base hit to left field. That's his first hit of the night. He had lined out in his first at bat. So if all goes well, hopefully Chase will be back here in Philadelphia tomorrow. Looks like a pretty good swing.
Yeah. Pitches away and he hit it out there. Seen a lot of that over the years with him.
Carlos singled and drove in a run his first time up. And he has singled a second time.
Ridiculous.
He is a machine right now.
When he's on the way he is, I was talking to Charlie about that tonight when he went into that little funk for a while. He said he thought he was getting long with his swing again and getting out front. Now he's real short and quick again, hitting it where it's pitched, and he's off on another good streak.
Well, a base runner with 1 out. Shane Victorino's the hitter. Well, Chase Utley is very close, and Murph, it now seems like Ryan Howard is getting closer.
Yeah, it really does, Tom. You know, he said earlier this week that he thought he might be able to start his rehab assignment as early as this week. And Charlie Manuel was talking with reporters today, and he said he actually had a conversation with Ryan Howard yesterday. He said he's feeling very good. He feels like he's getting very close to being able to play. He said, now, I might not be the player you all want me to be right away, but he said, I'm feeling very good, still running with a little bit of a limp, but feels like he can get back pretty quickly. So Charlie was thinking maybe after the All-Star break, like Ryan Howard will make his way back to Philadelphia, certainly that would be good news as well, guys.
Well, and there was the Phillies released today, right before the ball game, that Ryan will be back in Philadelphia tomorrow to be reevaluated, and then there's a pretty good chance at the end of the week that he will have a rehab assignment in Lakewood, which is which is huge at this point.
Yeah, pretty close to Philadelphia. It's nice to know that he'll be that close. And you know what? Charlie was obviously very excited when talking about Ryan today, because I think he felt the positive energy from his conversation with Ryan Howard yesterday. So, you know, Chase Utley perhaps back tomorrow. Ryan Howard maybe in the near future. That is certainly good news for Charlie Emanuel and this team, guys.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. As Victorino flies out to left. That's the second out, and here comes Ty Wigginton.
Be a nice place to come back and hit Coors Field. Huh?
It would be great. It'd be great to have both of them back in the lineup. Charlie was also asked what Ryan's doing because of the tropical storm Debbie, that hit Clearwater. We showed you those photos of Bright House Field all flooded. Ryan is hitting in Tampa. I guess there's a place that he hits in before he goes to spring training. He's utilizing that place right now, which is good news.
Yeah, the Threshers were on the East Coast when that big storm hit, so they were able to play their games. They certainly weren't going to be able to play them if they'd been in Clearwater.
Yeah, and if fans are interested at all, Ryan's been posting different things on his website at RyanHoward6.com. It's actually been neat to listen to some of his podcasts as he's been going through this rehab of the Achilles tendon. He's answered a lot of questions, not questions that he's been given from fans, maybe some, but he's just answered for a variety of questions, whether it be about the team, whether it be about his Achilles, about his rehab, all those things. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ty Wigginton, who grounded out his first time up, hit it sharply. Taps it foul, 1-2.
Bedard using a lot of off-speed stuff, changeups, breaking balls.
Here's some of the shots of Bright House Field. Look at all that water. Holy cow. A little different now. They're expecting some more rain over the next day or so. Murph was saying like 5 more inches. That's a lot of rain.
Really? Well, I thought that storm had moved north. Well, that's a shame if they're going to get more something like that again. Anywhere in Florida. It was up in the Jacksonville area today. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in how Sand Key Beach wound up.
How did it wind up, Liz?
I don't know. Funny how we're all very interested in that area. Huh?
We'll get Luigi to tell us. He'll email us. 3-2 the count.
Luigi Galacci from Villa Galacci. That's a really good spot on Indian Rocks Beach.
John Mayberry waits on deck. 3-2 with 2 outs. So Ruiz will be off with this pitch. In the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Tabata's going back. Warning track to the wall. Gone! 2-run home run for Ty Wigginton. And the Phillies now lead it 4-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. It's the 8th home run of the year for Wigginton. Well, it's the 9th hit for Wigginton against Eric Bedard. He has more at-bats than anybody else in the Phillies lineup against him. And he waited beautifully on that pitch to drive it over the flower bed.
Yeah, it was something off speed. 6 home runs from Bedard. Oh, it's a changeup. You can see it in his hand as he went to throw it. He had it tucked back in his hand. And he got it out, and it jumped out of there to left center. The wind did nothing to that. It was hit pretty low.
And Joe Fatted of Collingdale, you've won $100 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
4 runs with 2 outs.
4 runs on 7 hits now for the Phillies. John Mayberry takes inside.
Well, you know, when they've been going through so many funks this year, they didn't get a whole lot of runs with 2 outs, that's for sure. And now, you know, in this game, runs with 2 outs. And he won a lot of games that way.
Pretty good swing by Ty Wigginton.
Another team that he played for at one time, the Pirates.
Wheels, the Fanatic, is here.
There he is.
He's been called. Somebody has summoned him for a photo. Over to second base. Walker allows it to handcuff him, but he throws out Mayberry. Side is retired. The Fanatic is just beginning. Making his rounds around the ballpark. Ty Wigginton waiting for a 3-2 pitch, and he put a great swing on it. It went out in left center field to give the Phils a 4-1 lead as we go to the fourth. Prices you'll love, like Avery weatherproof labels that stand up to the harshest conditions. From who but W.B. Mason. Ty Wigginton's 2-run home run has given the Phils a 4-1 lead. Gary Matthews joins us up here in the booth as he normally does here in the fourth inning. Pretty good start to this ball game, Sarge, wouldn't you say?
Like those early runs and like the way that Vance is pitching here so far.
Retired the last 6 batters that he's faced. Garrett Jones leads it off and takes a breaking ball for strike one. It's 0-1. Jones, a fielder's choice his first time up. Jose Tabata was thrown out at the plate on a little tapper by Garrett Jones. One ball, one strike, the count. Good pitch. Two-seamer again in on the inside corner. 1-2. Just trying to get that outside part of the plate. Just trying to get to it.
Well, he does pitch on the corners, and you like that, though. You want to keep the ball out of the middle of the plate, especially with guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
2-2 pitch. Did he go? Nope, says Ted Barrett. And it's 3-2. All right, Sarge, what do you think?
Let's just check it out, see whether or not he.
Nope.
I always think it could go either way, but I like to give the benefit to the hitter, especially when we're winning. If we're losing, I'd have to say that he ended up going.
Now he went right there.
That's right.
A swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Worley. 3 strikeouts overall. And with one away, Casey McGee. All right, Sarge, I want to ask you about what Charlie said and Murph said earlier about Ryan Howard, who is going to be back in Philadelphia tomorrow to be reevaluated. The hope is rehab assignment on Thursday, maybe Friday in Lakewood. And then he's off and running.
Yeah, that's really great news. Simply that he's healthy enough to really come back and have the doctor look at him. So he has to be feeling pretty good. Again, we'll see what happens under the game situations. You know, we talked with Matt Kemp about that, and he says he was ready to go. But then that game situation, the adrenaline flowing, a different ball game. So a lot of optimism, though. I mean, let's face it, in getting him back.
Chopper over to short, backhanded by Rollins. 2 outs. I think just the fact that we're at the point now where the conversation has turned to Utley be back in the lineup and Ryan Howard soon will be back in the lineup. I think, you know, they've kind of weathered the storm. It hasn't been great all the time, but they're getting to the point, the team is, where they get 2 big pieces back.
Yeah, you get both those guys back in similar times. I tell you, you got a team there, and regardless of kind of what they'll be doing, because they'll be a threat. They'll be a threat in the lineup, and those are 2 players, they make other players better in the lineup.
Pedro Alvarez with 2 outs. Alvarez doubled and scored his last time up. Fouls it away. It's 0-1. You've never had an Achilles injury, I know that.
No.
What are the challenges that Ryan will still face, do you think?
Well, I think just to test it, to see whether or not it's strong enough to carry his weight. Not only that, it's his left foot to be able to pivot. He does a lot of pivoting on that back foot, so we'll see whether or not he'll be strong enough to do that.
It'd be great to see him. We haven't seen him since spring training.
Yeah, I'm sure when you see him, you'll probably ask him, hey, what's up there, Ryan Howard?
You think that's what I'll say?
Yeah, that's what you'll say. I'll probably say, what's going on? That's right.
He is hanging on our every word, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to listen. I got to listen so I'll know what you're talking about. What's up? Boy, I'm telling you.
I was going to say to Wheels that Sarge doesn't say that. The president says that to Sarge. What's up, Sarge?
That's exactly right. I mean, you guys got to get it right there. I mean, no, you don't want the facts to get in the way of a good story.
A swing and a miss and a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Vance Worley. 9 in a row retired by Vance. We've played 3.5. A little high fastball to Pedro Alvarez. On to the bottom of the 4th. 8, 9, and 1. 2 up for the Phils. National 10 event. For a limited time, get bonus cash on Altima and Rogue. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer. Buy Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play the new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery, Black Tie. And buy Acura. Acura. Advance. Mike Fontenot led off the second with a single. Wound up scoring on a base hit by Placido Polanco. Getting a chance against the left-hander. Opposite way. And Tabata has been kind of busy out there. Over the shoulder catch. 1 out.
Just out in front of that just a little bit. Obviously, Charlie likes Mike's offense. The only thing that really prevents him from displaying every day is the defense. You play good defense, he could be playing second base for somebody or even here the fighting fields with no problem.
Played just about every day for most of last year, for a good part of last year. And proved that he was somewhat versatile for the Giants.
Yeah.
This year, well, his good buddy Ryan Terrio, they brought him over and he kind of took his spot.
Yeah, well, that does happen, but you know, I like the energy that he has, but he thinks when he's up at the plate. And sure, everybody's going to swing at bad pitches, but he seems to get a pretty good pitch to hit and doesn't always swing at that first pitch.
And Worley's down swinging for the second out. And back to the top of the order for Jimmy Rollins. Sarge, the Pirates will remain in town tomorrow and Thursday. Tickets are available by going to Phillies.com for tomorrow's 7:05 game and Thursday's 1:05 Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Phillies are wrapping up this homestand, this 10-game homestand, and hoping that these 4 games prove fruitful for them after they won 2 of 3 in the first series. They lost 2 of 3 to the Rays. And don't forget, tomorrow or Thursday, depending on tonight, you could see Chase Utley's return.
Yeah, he's chomping at the bit to get back and obviously feels he has something to prove, but more so wanting to come back and help his team win. That's the type of player he is.
0-1 the count to Rollins. Down the right field line, floating. Just foul. I mean, just foul. Jimmy had the bat in his hand as he was going up the first base line. He had a clear view of it. Toyota Major League scoreboard. Atlanta's lead is up to 5 over the Diamondbacks. Tim Hudson against Josh Colmenter. They're underway in Chicago. The Mets and the Cubs are in the bottom of the first. And just a little bit, the Nationals will face off against the Rockies. To right field, and it's playable for Jones, who started back, then comes in. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. Pretty quick bottom of the 4th inning for Eric Bedard. Rollins' third at bat is in the books. On to the 5th inning. Phillies lead it by 3. Store features authenticated game-used items and autographed memorabilia. New items are added each homestand. For a list of special offers and available items, email merch@phillies.com. So Barmes takes a strike as we begin the top of the 5th inning. Barmes, McHenry, and Eric Bedard against Vance Worley. Fills up 4-1. Try to make it 2 in a row over the Pirates.
Hey, he's not getting many pitches on the corner, and I tell you, he's been living right on them. Usually when you're around the plate like that, you'll get some of those type of pitches.
You see that pitch several times early he didn't get. He didn't get it there. It's a pretty good pitch.
Not where you catch it, where it crosses the plate.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Low, ball 3. So 3-1.
You don't get those type of pitches called. Just means you got to work a little bit harder. No free passes.
Barmes has hit in 3 consecutive games. He grounded out to shortstop in the second. That was his first at bat. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball right field. Playable for Hunter Pence. Barely has to move. 1 out. Pence Worley's retired the Pirates 1-2-3 in the last 2 innings. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities every time that's done. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Michael McHenry had a sac fly. He's got the only RBI tonight for the Pirates. Hitting 8th. Another base hit. The man had 2 hits yesterday. Mayberry cuts it off. McHenry trying for 2. The throw by Mayberry not in time. So a 1-out double, his 4th of the year. And that'll bring Bedard to the plate.
Now that throw there, or the ball that was hit, took him all the way to the line, and his momentum, meaning when he caught that ball, wasn't going to be able to get him. Take a look at it. That ball smoked down that left field line. Now watch that momentum. Takes him a couple more steps by then. Too late, even though he gets off a pretty good throw.
Bedard jabs at it. He didn't have a very sound at bat his last time up. Almost looked as if he was content to just let one strike after another go by.
I'm almost surprised though that they're not going on and just letting him go on and hit. Maybe he gets a lucky hit.
That's a good bunt. Gets the runner over to third. Easy play for Worley because Bedard was taking a stroll up the first base line. Sacrifice goes 1-3. And Talbot is up with McHenry over at third.
I guess you can't score a variety of different ways, though. Once you get on third base, wild pitch, you can score on that. Scoring an error if that ball is not handled right by any of the infielders.
And when, let's face it, Bedard was 2 for his last 30 or something like that.
Not much of a chance, you're thinking?
No. And I say that, we haven't seen him that often, but I say that just really by the way he approached his first at bat.
Well, you can always tell by that.
Want to know the count to Tabata. Hit by a pitch his first time up. He may have been hit by a pitch. No, he fouled it off.
Well, I like what Vance is doing. He continues to throw the ball inside, staying with his game plan. And you keep throwing in and throwing in, makes that pitch away very effective.
Outside corner, 2-2.
Not as aggressive. You keep those balls inside. Well, the hitters aren't going to just go out on that outside part of the plate. He's got him set up for a breaking ball or even maybe a high fastball that would be in.
Opposite way, Fontenot makes the play on the glove side, and Worley gets out of this inning. He allows a 1-out double to McHenry. Leaves him over at third. 4-3 on the putout. When we come back in the bottom of the 5th, Placido Blanco will lead it off, and we'll have an update on Chase Utley. 4 runs on 7 hits. Placido Polanco has one of those hits, and he'll begin the bottom of the 5th. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. It'll be Polanco, Pence, and Ruiz. Those are the guys due up. Phillies have had a base runner in every inning except for the 4th for tonight's ball game. And Polanco is even 1 ball and 1 strike. Polly now 7 for 23 on this homestand, and he has 5 runs batted in. So 4 RBIs now the last 2 ball games.
Yeah, he's starting to drive the ball a lot more. And when he's doing that and getting hits, he's right there doing what he needs to do. But he's seeing the ball good.
3 straight nights with 2 hits. Guess who else is seeing the ball well? Chase Utley. He just went yard at Lehigh Valley. Look at the crowd that came out to watch Chase's rehab assignment. Look how excited they are to watch that one go. That was a long one.
I like that double flat helmet there. We're going to have to ask you about that when he gets back.
Lehigh Valley up 8-1 over Rochester.
Good to see him hitting the ball and hit a single to left field and showing that he still has power. Boy, I tell you, he looked buffed when he was here.
Hunter Pence tripled his first time up. Takes it side. It's 1-0. Well, if Chase does come back tomorrow, as we said, all signs point to tomorrow. We'll see where Hunter Pence moves in the lineup. Do you think they keep Ruiz as the cleanup hitter or move him to 5, put Pence in the cleanup spot? What do you think they do?
I think they put Pence 5. You know, for me, anyway. Utley will probably go back to his familiar spot. You know, Charlie is a creature of habits, does like the veteran player, but then he also likes to reward his players by doing well, and that's why I'm thinking that he'll keep Chooch there. Another story, however, if Ryan Howard comes back.
Inside 2-1 to Pence.
I think that'll be the interesting lineup if you can get him back in kind of on a daily basis. You know, those two usually will settle in that 3-4 spot.
I think still Pence will be 5 and Ruiz might be 6.
I would think it'd be the opposite way around for me. And I say that because of the average and the hits, though, that Chooch has been doing all year long.
Grounder foul. Well, let's face it. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, yeah.
That's a pretty good top 6 right there.
Well, those are the type of problems
and
you like to have.
Victorino if he's batting 7th.
Exactly. You know, you can flip-flop them, but when you have Polanco hitting the ball the way that, you know, he's hitting it, you like for him to be able to hit second. He can hit lower. But then you like Juan Pierre second when he's in there, and you've seen what he can do.
In the dirt, 3-2. Good job by McHenry.
Well, it would be a good problem to have. Too many hitters and trying to place them in your lineup.
It's full, 3-2 with nobody out. Ruiz on deck. Outside, ball 4. It's a good at bat for Pence, who walked 3 times in a game the other day. He walks here. He's on base twice. Now Carlos Ruiz. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, T-Mac, it's time for the Major League Notebook, brought to you by Gwynedd Mercy College. He was the early favorite to win the MVP, but now Matt Kemp might not even play in the All-Star game. He's, of course, out with that pulled hamstring that you guys were talking about since May 31st. He has, however, left open the possibility of playing in the Home Run Derby during the All-Star festivities. And, guys, Jamie Moyer is back again after being released by Colorado and Baltimore earlier this season. He's getting another shot, just signed by the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's headed to AAA Las Vegas to see if he can make it back to the big leagues. Jamie Moyer, 49 years old, guys.
Kind of makes sense. Tell those guys we said hi.
I will.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, considering all the injuries the Blue Jays have had. I mean, don't you guys agree that that would probably be a team that would give him a chance?
He can throw strikes there, Murph. I think that they would allow him to get a chance. I know Larry Anderson mentioned he's going to try all the rest of the teams that release him if he doesn't get a chance to pitch for Toronto. He's just going to hit them all.
Carlos takes inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlos is 2 for 2. His average at 360, which means that if play ended right now, he'd be leading the league in hitting.
The last catcher to lead the league in hitting.
Well, in the American League, Joe Mauer, who's done it stunningly 3 times down the right field line and out of play. But I saw your note on the National League. 1942 was the last National League catcher.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unreal. You know, and I've always thought too, again, a little more difficult for a catcher, but Bauer doesn't think so. And I said because of the bending down, the concentration of once you're out there, obviously on defense, you're thinking about trying to what you're going to do with a particular hitter. And sometimes sitting on the bench there, you're going to be thinking that as well.
Ernie Lombardi was the guy that Sarge has written down. 1942 with the Boston Braves. This jam shot foul. The thing about Ruiz, I went back and looked at his day by days today, and you see the current averages. Ruiz 360, Wright 357, Votto 352. The thing about Ruiz, he's had one stretch with no hits in 4 games. One 4-game stretch without any hits. That's it. And he's had and twice he's had a stretch of 2 consecutive games without a hit. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
That's the consistency that he's had. And for me, since spring training, it's just been solid. Hitting the ball to all parts of the field, and that shows you how dangerous you are as a hitter. For the most part, he's had really great balance at the plate. You know, before you'd see him where he was swinging almost one-handed a lot of times. But he's been really short and quick to the ball, not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Pops that one up. Shallow right center field. That'll be a tough play. Jones, though, finds it. It hung up there enough where it turned out to be an easier play than it looked off the bat. 1 out. And Victorino's up.
I had that wind, kind of held the ball up, pushed the ball right to him.
Beautiful sky tonight. Meeting on the mound.
I really thought that was great with, you know, Utley kind of talking and he was and looking at him and the way that he was choosing his words, almost to the point where he was almost a little bit angry. We're saying that maybe people have kind of given it on him and he hasn't given up on his teammates. I really think it lit a fire under the team. You know, I really do. And I think if he comes back and he starts to play, and then let's face it, you lead by example by getting hits and doing the job on the field. There's no telling what this club can do. And that would be like going out and getting another player that's an offensive player, which Charlie's been talking about.
And in this case, it would be 2 whoppers.
Oh boy!
If they can, you know, if they come back healthy, which Chase looks good. I mean, just by watching his actions, he looks good.
I want to see how durable he'll be, though, because you know he plays so hard, day in, day out. Never takes any time off when he's playing the game.
Time is called. It's 1-0 to Victorino.
I mean, hustling all the time, whether or not he's on defense, whether or not he's on offense. Gives 100% all the time.
1 ball, no strikes the count. Runners on first and second. Last night, Shane had an RBI single. He was 1 for 3. He also scored a run. That helped those numbers along a little bit.
He's swinging a lot better on this right side for me than the left.
May have chased a little bit there. Got a fastball. It was up and away.
I think sometimes he almost makes up his mind. I mean, he's looking for a certain pitch, and instead of looking for it and getting it, he'll swing at it, even if it's not a strike. That was a fastball that was up and away.
He's going to lose his pants.
Hope not.
$45,000 plus tonight, Sarge. Fireworks night.
That's what happens when you start to win. Had a little fireworks during the game yesterday, some today.
And a called strike 3. Victorino thought it was a little high and a little in tight. And the 2 outs. Wigginton, who homered his last time up, is coming up to the plate now. Guys, the Milwaukee Brewers are coming to town Monday, July 23rd at 7:05. Italian Heritage Night on Monday the 23rd, brought to you by Dodge. Tuesday the 24th, 7:05. Wednesday the 25th, 1:05. And those guys right there, and all kids coming to the game, can run the bases thanks to Modell's. It's Modell's Sporting Goods. Kids run the bases at the conclusion of the Wednesday, July 5th game. Get your tickets by heading to Phillies.com. Wigginton now with 8 home runs with his 2-run shot his last time up. Grounder foul. Phillies got the first 2 runners on here in the 5th, and they've had base runners all night against Bedard. Haven't scored yet in this inning, but they've scored 4 runs so far.
And also keeping him in pressure.
Yeah, that's the 80th pitch of the night.
Yeah, when you're doing that, take a look at the 3rd inning. Boy, oh boy, that ball was hit out of the ballpark, going and just gone. 2-run shot.
Well, for that home run and each one hit by the Phillies this season, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees. For more information, visit Phillies.com/red goes green. It's all part of the project Plant 1 Million. Bedard's been able to fine-tune his location with these last 2 hitters.
That was a pretty good pitch too after that breaking ball, and the velocity is not all that great, but his location's been pretty good on that fastball. Breaking ball, he's been throwing it breaking down to the dirt most of the time.
Over to 3rd. Alvarez waits on it. Strong arm. Phillies get the first 2 on, but they leave the first 2 on. We've completed 5. Bedard navigates out of trouble here in the 5th, and we'll go to the 6th. Blue Cross Philly of the week is battling back with the bat. After a slow, struggling start during April and May, Jimmy started to heat up as summer arrived. The kickstart at the top of the lineup the Phillies have enjoyed for so long returned in June, and the leadoff hitter's bat once again began to deliver with consistency. As J-Roll goes, so go the Phillies. And his turnaround is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, you know, when Matt Maller's in town and dressing up like umpires, that something special is about to happen down on the field, Sarge.
Yeah.
Little rolling on the river with Matt and the Fanatic.
Unreal. I don't know how he comes up with a lot of these gimmicks.
And then Matt still with the wig on. Passing out some flowers to all the ladies in the crowd. Not all of them, but some of the ladies in the crowd.
Yeah, carnations. He needs to go on and give those roses out.
Did he go a little cheap on the flowers?
Yes, he did.
Okay. She does not even realize. Look how excited they are about those flowers.
Yeah. And just think, if they're looking like that with those flowers, you can imagine what they'd feel like with a couple of roses.
Come on, gentlemen, take some notes. Sarge, lay it out for them. 2-0 the count to Neil Walker as we start the top of the 6th. Phil's up 4-1. Fly ball left field, playable for Mayberry. And that'll bring Andrew McCutchen to the plate.
Well, that's kind of the way you like to pitch to McCutchen, not with anybody on base. He hasn't gotten started so far this series. They've done a pretty good job on him. Without a doubt, their best player in the field. Well, talking with him before the game, he has something he does at his ballpark. Every day he signs autographs right before the game starts. And he's been doing that every single year.
Look how wicked the movement was on that ball that he just hit in the gap.
This guy here is he's just legit.
Now, when you say he signs autographs every day.
Well, there's a certain time that he goes and signs autographs for the kids right before the game is going to start. And then when he's on the road, he picks out one day that he's going to sign for the kids there. Should be an all-star this year there. You can see how he hits that ball. He's got just quick hands, strong hand-eye coordination, drives the ball in the gap. That's why he's hitting in the high 300s. Very humble, by the way.
Well, it's nice to see that he's doing that. Has he told you what the reasoning is, why he's taking that much time
just
to do it?
Like giving back.
Yeah.
And, you know, the interesting thing when he says, well, game time, they all leave. But the next day they're back because they know he's coming back at a certain time. So kids that haven't gotten an autograph or was looking for one, didn't get one day, the next day they have a good chance of getting the star of the team, and I think that's great.
And he is the face of their franchise.
Oh, no doubt.
They signed him to a 6-year, $51.5 million contract before the start of the season. Something the Pirates have not done consistently over the years with their young talent. And they feel that by signing McCutchen, and Clint Hurdle talked about this today, there was a certain thing he was discussing about Drew Sutton. But he said they said that the actions of the organization may not dictate change this year, but it may dictate it in 2 years.
Well, that's a good point. And when the better players you have, the better chance you have of good players coming
right
to a small market. Well, everybody likes to win. Pirate fan.
1-2 pitch. Inside, he tried the two-seamer again. Well, we're in the top of the 7th inning, or they're in the top of the 7th inning in Cincinnati, and Bronson Arroyo has a no-hitter through 6 1/3. Marco Estrada, who's pitching for the Brewers, well, he has 12 strikeouts through 6.
That's unbelievable.
All right, when you're off the air, why don't you call up Dusty and ask him how Bronson Arroyo's pitching?
I have that game on the iPad, by the way.
Okay. So you'll keep us up to date?
Oh, yeah. Won't be with jubilation, however, coming in if it's a no-hitter. We've talked about that before.
But that's not the kind of night that you like. You got one pitcher who struck out 12, and you got another cat who's throwing a no-hitter. Bad night for Sarge.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. We might have to reconsider that Mendoza line. Mendoza was doing okay.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Garrett Jones. Ground ball to first. The runner goes to third, but that's the second out. Worley now can see himself out of this one by getting Casey McGee with 2 away here in the top of the 6th.
This would just be huge here to keep that momentum still on your side.
Do you consider Vance Worley a ground ball pitcher?
Yes, I do, and I think he throws a heavy ball. You know, and the balls that he would hit, they would hit there. I think line drives are balls in the air that you know, they're not hit with a whole lot of authority. 9 ground balls so far here tonight.
Well, there's his distribution of outs.
See, and then even the flyouts, though, I mean, not all of those, the ball's not hit hard. They're not squaring them up. You know, he's keeping the hitters off balance, and I'm sure Rich Doobie, pitching coach, likes that. There's another little off balance there to be a pretty good pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. Runner on third. Casey McGee, the hitter. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to Rollins both times. Once a fielder's choice. And he takes a swat at a high fastball or a high cutter. And it's 1-2.
You know, in the minor leagues, usually they have the guy that's going to start the next day do all of the charting. Well, they got away from that because they were starting to put down the wrong miles an hour on the fastball.
Helping out a friend.
That's right. He put down 93, 94, and he goes up to a different league throwing 88, 87. They're wondering what happened.
2-2 the count to McGee. Worley set and the pitch. Little tap or foul. Pedro Alvarez waits on deck. Opposite way. Pence will play it on a hop. A run will score. It's an RBI single for McGee. It's now a 4-2 ball game. So the runner comes home from third. Thought he had him struck out in the 2 pitches earlier, but McGee battles for a base hit in his 17th RBI. Now he's got to bear down here.
Gotta give McGee credit. Solid single into right field.
Say he's got to bear down because this guy has pop.
Well, that's what I was saying too, though, on that right-hander. I'd rather face McGee, that right-hander, to be able to try and get him out. Thought he made a pretty good pitch, though. He just got it up in the zone just some. Surprised he's only hitting 230. This guy has a pretty good swing, and you can look for him in the years to come. He's going to be a pretty good hitter. He's got a solid setup. You know, a lot of times you're not always just going on the hits. Going on their approach, which allows them to maximize their ability to get more hits. Got to have a game plan each and every time you go to the plate and on the mound. Oof.
The 1-2 pitch. Started jumping off the mound again. Thought he might have had him. Maybe just a tad outside with that cutter. And now 95 pitches for Worley, who's due to bat third in the bottom of the 6th.
Not the hitter you want to give in to, and maybe just a little bit lower off the plate some.
Curveball swung on and missed. He got him. It may not have been his best pitch on paper, but it certainly was the best pitch at the time. A run for the Pirates and the RBI single from McGee, but then Worley comes back and gets a tough hitter in Pedro Alvarez with the breaking ball to finish off the top of the 6th. The Phils lead at 2 as we go to the home 6th. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. John Mayberry leads it off here in the bottom of the 6th. Phillies up 2. Mayberry hits it in the air to center field. Playable for McCutcheon. 1 pitch, 1 set aside.
Just off the end of the bat some. I'm telling you, he put a good swing on it. You can tell the way the ball was taken off. If he hits it a little closer to the sweet spot, ballpark won't hold it. You know, he's starting to get closer, but it's still going to take some time.
Fontenot's 1 for 2. Single to run scored to the 2nd. A fly ball to left. First pitch to Fontenot. Inside. Chris Rhysop was up and throwing in the bullpen for the Pirates. He's now sat down. Nobody up in the Phillies bullpen. 1-0 pitch to Fontenot. 2-0.
See whether or not he makes some pitch or he's going to zone him and swing at the ball in his area. It's one of the older Pittsburgh Pirates caps, huh?
I wonder who thought of those hats, those box caps that they used to wear.
Didn't like them, especially on Willie Stargell. Just didn't look right for whatever reason. And if your head was a little larger than most, that's a nice looking hat there.
It's a totally different approach to it.
Well, he took 2-0, which was a good hitting count. See whether or not. Nope, don't like that hat there, Tom.
It would go with a variety of your shirts, though, Sarge.
Really not.
Fontenot fouls it off over the third base dugout. 3-2 the count. called. Strike three. A little bit of a delay from Marvin Hudson. I didn't know if Fontenot was walking up the first base line or if he was walking back to the dugout. 2 outs now for Vance Worley. Time now for our Kia Minor League Players of the Week. And our player of the week is Mitch Walding for the Crosscutters of Williamsport. He had 2 4-hit games. He's a third baseman, 5th round draft pick in 2011. 10 RBIs in 7 games. And Jonathan Pettibone for the AA Reading Phils. He's had a pretty good year for them. So congratulations to those guys for being awarded our Kia Minor League Players of the Week. So we welcome the Gulf Coast League and Williamsport into the balloting for those awards.
And that's just awesome. Even when you're down in the minor leagues, to be Player of the Week, Minor League Player of the Month, make the All-Star team, just shows you you're that much closer to getting into the major leagues.
0-2 pitch to Worley. Ground ball toward third. Alvarez throws him out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Bedard. It might be his last inning. We've completed 6. On to the 7th inning. The bullpen is quiet. Vance Worley will go back to work with a 2-run lead.
Well, it's time for our game summary. Phillies with a 4-1 lead. Pirates with a 2-out run in the 6th inning. Casey McGee knocked that run in. Eric Bedard, Phillies hit him around a little bit early. He settled down, and he could be out of this game, as Tom said. We'll see. Ty Wigginton, a big 2-run home run. That's the difference in the game. Vance Worley, a little bit shaky early on. The Pirates have had some doubles, and only one of them scored.
Well, it's not time to go to sleep just yet. Still some innings to be played. And some fireworks after the ball game, brought to you by Xfinity. It's a jammed house. 45,096, the 243rd consecutive sellout. And Clint Barmas takes a breaking ball for strike one. Barmas is 0 for 2. He's grounded to short. He's fly to right. Michael Schwimmer started to throw in the bullpen for the Phillies. Worley's at 98 pitches. Tried to tie up Barmas. There's Schwimmer.
We have the bottom of the order, probably with a pinch hitter coming up, and they really want Worley to get through this inning, not have to use the bullpen in the 7th.
It's that same pitch that he hasn't gotten tonight. Juan Cruz is warming for the Pirates, the veteran right-hander.
Pirates have an extra man tonight too. They only had the 4-man bench last night. Tonight they have 5, although Barajas probably isn't available.
A liner foul by Barmas, and it's 2-2. Yeah, the Pirates optioned Matt Haig and Doug Slayton to make room for Drew Sutton, who's a switch hitter. Clint Hurdle announced those moves before the ball game today. 2-2 the count to Barmes. And now it's 3-2. Michael McHenry has swung the bat well these last 2 games. Over to third, a foul ball. Under 2 pitches now for Worley.
Yeah, not a great ratio tonight. Same as his last start, but you know the guy minimizes the damage.
Leadoff batter has been aboard for the Pirates twice tonight, the first 2 innings.
You guys think he had McGee struck out? Could you tell?
I thought it was a strike, but I have to say that Marvin Hudson's been consistent with that pitch all night where he hasn't given it to him. See right there, I think they thought that was a strike too. It was awfully close. Ruiz held it, and it's a walk to Barmes. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
Worley knows they want 7 out of him, but it's the last thing he wanted to do. But Barmes came really tough at bat there. Bunch of foul balls and then walks.
Yeah, that last pitch which you just saw, which may have been a little low, that's the kind of pitch, I mean, on the inside or the outside part of the plate that he hasn't gotten tonight, but he has kept on trying. Sutton's come out of the on-deck circle for the Pirates. Had a strike to McHenry.
Worley's the kind of guy after something like that. He can throw a double play ball right now and relieve some of the pressure. Both cheating up the middle now. Jimmy Rollins, the shortstop. Mike Fontenot, the second baseman. See that? Thinking about a double play, although Jimmy's a little bit behind it. Reason being that you're on his pull side right now. You know, they're trying to make sure a ball doesn't go through. Here's the one I was asking you about with McGee.
See, it just didn't come back all the way.
It was outside.
Close.
Yeah. Couldn't tell from where I was. Been a struggle for him since the first inning tonight.
Runner leads off first. 2-1 the count to McHenry. Back toward the middle. Fontenot can't get to it. A base hit. Barmes around second. He'll hold up there. And it's first and second with nobody out, and Drew Sutton is coming up.
Pirates showing you why they've been winning a lot lately. Very resilient, hanging in there. And that ball was hit very hard, but it was a tough play.
That's the 4th hit now in 2 games for McHenry. Rich Doobie's going out to talk to Vance Worley.
They're in double play depth too, as we just showed, and Fontenot was up a little bit. You know, if he's all the way back with nobody on base, he has a chance to make that play. It was tough to make where he was.
Again, they do have Schwimmer warming up in the bullpen. Another double play ball here would certainly help.
7th inning, 2 on the road was, you know, the top of the order coming up. They may think about bunting here. You have to, the Phillies probably are going to have to look for it and play for it.
Tonight on Sports Night, Leslie Goodell reports from Lehigh Valley with an update on Chase Utley. Plus, Sixers president Rod Thorne previews his ideas for the NBA draft, and Paul Holmgren discusses the Flyers' free agency plans. Plus, highlights of this ball game. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota after Phillies postgame live. Outside 1-0.
Yeah, no sign of a bunt, and the Phillies don't think he's going to bunt either, because they left Wigginton all the way back at first.
Pirates had Drew Sutton a few weeks ago for about 12 hours, but They weren't sure if they had a major league spot for him, and the Rays did. So the Pirates let him go to Tampa. Clint Hurdle said that's the kind of organization the Pirates are. They didn't have a major league spot, but the Rays did, and they realized it. So Sutton went to the Rays, and now he's back with the Pirates. A switch hitter. Opposite way, it's going to float fair down the left field line. One run will score. McHenry goes to third. It's second and third with nobody outs. And it's a 4-3 ball game. And so a pinch single, or pinch double, I should say, for Sutton.
Sounded like he broke his bat and found some fair ground down the third baseline. Put the ball in play. Now they're going to have to make a pitch change. Just try to get him through this inning with the bottom of the order on a night when Worley was really struggling. Couldn't do it.
So Charlie's coming out. He'll go to the bullpen. Michael Schwimmer is coming in. This is the second trip to the mound for the Phillies. Worley goes 6+ innings. The runners in scoring position are his responsibility. We've got an AT call to the bullpen here at Philadelphia with the Phils on top 4-3. Have nobody out here at the top of the 7th inning. See the line so far advanced. He's responsible for the runners on second and third. And now he'll rely on the bullpen. Michael Schwimmer first. Try to get out of this inning without allowing any more. Maybe allowing just one, depending on how they approach it. Schwimmer's numbers: 15th ball game, 0-1, a 4.80 earned run average. He's got the top of the order to deal with, so they'll play the infield back for an out. Michael McHenry on third. Drew Sutton's on second.
Yeah, they'll give up an out here, and they hope it's to the left sides or somewhere where if they make the out here from Tabata that he doesn't advance Sutton to third base.
He's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. And the first pitch from Schwimmer. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. They've been getting him off the plate all night.
Yeah. He paid the price in the first inning.
Pirates threatened in that first but didn't score. They had second and third. Back toward the box. Nice play by Schwimmer. Freezes McHenry at third. 1 away. That ball was rocketed right back to the glove of Michael Schwimmer.
Yeah, good job too. I mean, he just a reflex. He catches it, and then the first thing you want to do is look at that guy at third, make sure he's not going to try and score, which he isn't, with nobody out. First and third, then you start the guy from third base, get in a rundown, try to prevent any kind of double play. Here it is. Right back at him. Good play. Look at third. And McHenry's not going anywhere. He was told by Nick Leyva, you're not going anywhere unless the ball gets by the pitcher. And that was a ball right there that could have fooled a base runner because he thinks it's a base hit off the bat, even though he's been told it's got to go by the pitcher.
Neil Walker's 0 for 2. He walked back to the first. Get one out. Phillies lead at 1 here in the 7th. Fly ball down the right field line. Hooking foul.
Whew, really. Watching Walker after he hit it, he wasn't running real hard. All you could think was, he thinks it's foul. I hope he's right. It's a breaking ball out over the plate. See, he's just kind of slowly going down. Swimmer's trying to push it foul. 3-4 feet.
Ball carried pretty well.
Yeah, for a one-handed swing. Well, there is a lot of wind headed out that way tonight.
Top of the 3rd in Colorado. Adam LaRoche's home run has given the Nationals a 1-0 lead. Keep you updated on that one as this one moves on. 0-2 the count.
How about Scudero getting hit in the coconut last night by Strasburg? Wow, was that scary?
There was no update today on his condition. Did you see anything?
No, nothing. And he bounced right up, too. Well, not right up, but he got up.
Runners take their lead off 2nd and 3rd. To the count to Walker. Fly ball, shallow left. Here comes Mayberry setting up under it. McHenry tagging. Here's the throw to the plate. He's coming to the plate on one hop. He is out at the plate. What a throw by John Mayberry. A perfect toss to Carlos Ruiz. Nick Leyba took a chance, and Michael McHenry was a dead duck. And that saves the inning for the Phils. 7-2 on the putout. And Michael Schwimmer really works out of a tough jam here in the 7th inning. Everything worked out perfectly. Look how he got behind the play. Look at the throw. Perfect one-hop toss. And Carlos Ruiz had the plate for the final out here in the 7th inning. They nearly had a big inning, but they settled for one at the top of the 7th inning. Michael Schwimmer worked out of a jam. This is the reason why. John Mayberry makes a nice play. There's the second out, and now the throw to the plate. Wheels, this is a good block by Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah, and you know, he's got the perfect long hop so he could get ready for it. You know, it's almost, he could almost Olay a tag on this play, but right here he's going to get ready, and now here comes the slide in. He kicks a foot away and then tags him. I mean, that play right there is a easier play for a catcher because of the long hop that Mayberry gave him. And see, he's waiting for him, and he almost got in because he was waiting for him like that.
And McHenry with a little forearm to Ruiz. Hopefully Ruiz is okay, and Schwimmer certainly is excited about that play. What a good throw by John Mayberry. So now the bottom of the 7th, top of the order is up against Juan Cruz.
A few things there you wonder about with Nick Senzium. He may have been thinking too the Phillies would walk McCutchen.
And that face Garrett Jones has been hot lately.
They face Jones, but I don't know. Because if you're the Pirates, you hate to see that happen with your best hitter in the on-deck circle.
Juan Cruz, who has been with a number of different teams during the course of his major league career. And he delivers a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bullpen for the Pirates has been one of the best in the league, 2.70 earned run average. And Cruz has been a part of it. He began the season with 11 scoreless innings in his first 12. An ERA of 0 in April, 2.61 in May, but it's been 5.68 here in June. So there you see his overall numbers. Rollins takes away 2-2.
It's always been kind of mostly a fastball changeup guy, especially left-handed hitters. Throw a little cutter, slider. But when he first came up, he was fastball changeup.
1 ball or 2 balls, 2 strikes to Rollins. Grounder towards first. It's a fair ball. And McGee takes it to the bag. 1 away. All right, Wheels, here we go. Our Dodge Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer. Can you name the 2 men who managed the Pirates in 2005?
I think so.
All right, here we go.
Lloyd McClendon started the year.
Yeah, 137 games. Did you know that?
Phillies bench coach Pete McCannon took over.
How many games did Pete?
I have no idea.
Well, let's do a little math. McClendon 137 games. Pete McCannon would then be 25.
25 from 60 to 25.
Yep.
Thanks.
There's Pete. He's been the interim manager for the Pirates and the Reds during his career.
I got the answer. You get the arithmetic.
Log back onto Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. I was introduced to Pete McCannon for the first time when he was a manager for the AA Bowie Bay Sox in 1994.
So that guy's got a great personality.
Grounder over to third. Alvarez gobbles it up. You know what I thought, Wheels?
What's that?
Well, he has great hair. That's what I thought when I met him.
Right.
He was a very good minor league manager. And as we said, an interim manager on 2 different occasions. Some pretty good players on that Bowie Bay Sox team. In fact, one of his guys threw a no-hitter in '94.
Pete said he got out of town just in time for the Phillies so they could win the World Series. Huh?
Yeah. Hunter Pence tripled his first time up, flied out to left. And he walked in the 5th.
Well, obviously they like to get more. Only a 1-run lead with 2 innings to go. They've had too many of these kind of games in this yard this year.
Antonio Bastardo's in the bullpen, which Doobie said today. He reiterated today, if he could pitch, he's the 8th inning guy. Sometimes it'll depend on matchups, but for the most part, he's the 8th inning guy.
And the 8th inning is coming up.
0-2 pitch inside to Pence, 1-2.
Well, there comes a point you have to get this settled down in the 8th and 9th innings if you're going to be good. So they're going to keep trying to get it settled down.
Tony Watson is throwing for the Pirates. They, as we said, let Doug Slayton go today, or option Doug Slayton back to the minor leagues. So they're 1 lefty down in the pen. Still throws hard. 96 on that fastball.
Fastball, slider, changeup, cutter.
That's the slider.
Yeah. It was almost frisbee-ish.
Carlos Ruiz on deck. The fanatic. Did you see his Tina Turner routine?
Oh, that was funny. Rolling on the river.
Waved at a slider. And the Phillies are retired in order here in the 7th inning. So 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. That guy is due to lead it off for Pittsburgh when we get back with the top of the 8th inning. Deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. By McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea is just $1. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. The lead is at 1, and now the back end of the bullpen will be tested. It's Antonio Bastardo who is coming out to replace Michael Schwimmer. Schwimmer, a scoreless inning of work. He came on in relief of Vance Worley. Antonio's numbers 2 and 2, a 3.75 earned run average. He's had outings this year where he's been very good. He's had outings this year where he has picked and nibbled at the strike zone, and it's got him in trouble. His last outing was just a third of an inning. He was charged with 3 runs and 2 walks. But a couple days since he threw last.
Not many guys of these had, of course, had a lot of at bats against him.
Yeah, McCutcheon's 0 for 1 against Bastardo. A liner to left field over the head of Mayberry, off the wall. Mayberry's throw to second to try to get McCutcheon, not in time. The first pitch, and it was a sinking line drive for his second double of the night.
Not about him not batting last inning. You know, that was a good thing. This kid is really good right now. The pitch was not a strike even, but he went up there to hit a first ball, it looked like. And he just got top spin on it. You see, it's supposed to be fastball away. It is. It's a ball. It's out of the strike zone. But look at this guy get on top of that thing. And luckily he put top spin on it. Back spin. That one's deep into the seats.
Rich Doobie out to the mound. Now Josh Harrison will pinch hit for Garrett Jones. This is a sacrifice bunt situation.
Yeah, could you bunt for a tie on the road in the 8th inning, not the 9th normally? And that's what they're doing in this case. If, as you say, Tom, he bunts the ball, if they're trying to get the run in to tie the game in the 8th, and then they love their bullpen late in the game.
Harrison's numbers against lefties, 250 with a couple home runs. Jonathan Papelbon has started to warm up now in the bullpen for the Phillies. McGee is on deck. And Harrison bunts in the air. Ruiz off with the mask. Back to the screen. Basket catch. He got it.
Wow.
Wow, what a play by Carlos Ruiz. One out here in the 8th inning.
That's unbelievable. First of all, that he finds the ball that fast, and then he's able to go back and get that thing right before it gets to the screen. What a tremendous play by Ruiz. Now you got to watch McCutchen at second, but here we go. Look at this play with all that stuff coming up that fast, and he's able to catch it with that flat glove. Man, that's a good play. How do you find it that fast?
I'll tell you, we've been saying how he should be in the All-Star game. Right now, he's the first half MVP. I mean, he has just been remarkably good.
Now pay attention to this guy at second.
Casey McGee's the batter with the runner at second. McGee does have a base hit and an RBI tonight. And time is called.
Well, they were. You know, all he did was keep looking back. But McCutchen is such a great athlete that they didn't get him over. And he wants to steal third now. And they like to go early, good base stealers.
Up and in, 1 ball, no strikes. Fontenot is shaded up the middle, trying to keep McCutchen close. Popped him up. Right side of the infield. Ty Wigginton is there on the grass. 2 outs. And McCutchen still at second.
Yeah, now you have a left-left matchup with Alvarez. You see Clint Hurdle just chewing that gum a little harder. Look at a fastball, and he just beat him with it. And you see how upset McGee is on that because he got a fastball and he's late.
McCutchen swung at the first pitch and doubled to lead off the inning.
Now they're not as worried about McCutchen at second. You know, they're going to watch him, but now with 2 outs, it's not as important.
Alvarez 1 for 3 tonight. He's dancing off second. Jimmy almost gave a signal.
He was, what he's telling him was, I'm back here.
Yeah.
You know, basically, I'm not going anywhere. You know, I'm not coming in there. Go get the hitter. And if he wants to steal third, go ahead. You know, they don't want him to steal third necessarily, but if he goes, he goes. And maybe Ruiz has a shot at him. But he's not going to throw it unless he has a real good shot at him because they don't want to throw the ball away.
There's the signal. See?
But put his arms out. You know, that's not, I'm staying here.
So worry about the hitter.
Yeah, if you put your glove down, it's different. That normally means you're going to the bag.
0-1 pitch. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now I'm trying to take away as much as I can as an infielder right now with 2 outs and a runner at second, so I can knock it down and make them get another hit to tie the game. And that's why those infielders are so far back.
Two and 1 the count to Alvarez. He has struck out twice tonight. And the pitch. 3-1.
When you look at their bench, it's all right-handed.
Yeah, Barmes is up next. Would you bring Papelbon in for Barmes?
Well, Charlie says if he's going to use him in the 8th and the 9th, it's going to be with 2 outs. So maybe. So you might see Ruiz call breaking ball here and not give in, thinking that, well, we're going to go next to Papelbon anyway.
And there's a strike. He did go breaking ball.
Yeah.
It was up a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't want it in that spot, but they didn't give in with fastball. And they may just go right back to it.
It's lefty against lefty. Bastardo against Alvarez. The tying run at second. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it with a slider. Ruiz tried to tag, throws on the run. The strikeout is recorded. Look at the emotion from Carlos Ruiz as the final out is recorded. A heck of a job by Antonio Bastardo after allowing the leadoff double. The Pirates are 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Liberty Mutual defensive play of the game, and this one was a doozy.
Watch him find this right away. What a great job just to find the baseball, and then to have that kind of athleticism to go back there and catch the ball with that kind of glove on that play. That's just, well, that's our Liberty Mutual defensive play of the game.
Responsibility, what's your policy? Now Ruiz will lead it off here in the 8th. He's 2 for 3. Phillies up by 1, looking for some more. Josh Harrison, who pinch hit for Garrett Jones, stays in the game to play right field. Tony Watson continues to warm up in the bullpen for the Pirates. Carlos at .358 for the year. Two pitch to Carlos. In the air to left field. Man, he crushed it. Wow, that one is gone. A solo home run for Carlos Ruiz. It's his 10th of the year. It's a career high. And the Phillies are on top 5-3. Tell you what, he has been so much fun to watch. Well, he's always fun to watch, but this year has been special.
That's a big-time player right there. Don't forget about all-star voting.
Yeah, vote up to 25 times. Why don't you do it right now while the home run is fresh in your mind? Go to Phillies.com. The guy has been the team MVP this entire first half. He's evolved into the cleanup hitter, and he's provided a spark in every way possible.
Threw him a frisbee right before that to get the second strike, and then I don't know if it was a breaking ball or cutter or whatever it was. It stayed middle in, and he just dropped the head on it. That was impressive. Here's a guy, Tom, in one part of the game takes the momentum away from the other team with that play defensively. Then he comes out in the next inning and pops one. That's special.
Look how far that ball went, too.
Down and in goes a long way. Or where it looked like he caught the middle in part of the play. The hitters just, oh, they love that.
Three balls, one strike down to Victorino. Ball 4. So a base runner after the home run.
What a big run that was, too.
Huge.
Maybe get more before it's over, but just to get another. Here, let's take a look. Oh, yeah. I guess that's a cutter or a slider. It's not that frisbee he was throwing, you know, that goes way away from the hitter. Look how quick his swing is here. Ball's in the middle of the plate, and he just dropped the head on it, and it went out in a hurry.
Yeah, he is the bomb. He just hit a bomb.
Oh, he did. That was a bomb.
3 for 4, home run, 2 runs batted in. He has 41 RBIs to go along with a career high 10 home runs.
You talk about a kid who used to be a second baseman, and they thought maybe he might be a backup catcher in the majors someday. He is now a big time player. And a big time person, too. He's
one of the best.
He's one of the best in so many ways and great in that clubhouse. He's kind of a needler in a lot of ways. You know, he keeps them loose there. Keep Watson up out there because, you know, all managers are going to have a left-hander up at this point in the game if they have one because of Tomey.
Wigginton also has homered tonight. This 2-run shot back in the 3rd made it 4-1 in favor of the Phillies. You love looking at different numbers, and the thing that I mentioned before to Sarge, I don't know if you heard it or not, Wheels, but looking at Carlos Ruiz this season, the fact that he has gone 4 straight games without a hit once, 2 straight without a hit twice.
Wow.
That's the drought. That's it.
And that's a lull.
Yeah, that's just all right.
And that was only, we were talking to Charlie about that earlier. He was getting a little bit long with his swing and a little bit out front, and he corrected it.
1 ball, no strikes, the count. Outside corner, 1-1. Well, his average is at 361 right now, Carlos, which is you know, we've been watching all night just for the fun of it. The other guys that are the top 3. David Wright is 0 for 2, so his average is at 355. And Joey Votto is 1 for 4. He's at 353. Back toward the middle. Base hit for Wigginton. Well, they're timing Juan Cruz now. 3 straight batters have reached with the home run, the walk, and now a base hit for Wigginton, who is 2 for 4.
Well, he's throwing a lot of sliders all of a sudden. Or I don't know whether they're sliders or cutters, but they're hittable. And that's it.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle's coming out, and they're going to make a pitching change. There's the signal.
Here's another. This is supposed to be away, and look at it. Oh, I guess it was a cutter more than anything because just had a little movement at the end, but not much.
So Tony Watson's going to come into the ball game for the Pirates. Lefty against righty with John Mayberry due up. We'll be back after this. boys age 6 to 14. You get professional coaching, skill development from Phillies players, coaches, and baseball academy instructors. It includes an official Phillies baseball academy uniform, a trip to the ballpark, a camper reunion night at a Phils game, 17 different locations. Go to PhilliesCamps.com and see what's going on with the Phillies baseball academy. They're going on right now. In fact, some of the kids were at the ballpark today. Tony Watson will take over for the Pirates. Here at the bottom of the 8th inning, the Phillies have scored a run on a long home run for Carlos Ruiz that went 407 feet. And Watson, who's 4-0, a 3.47 ERA, is on to face John Mayberry. 407, Carlos, just so you know.
Well, you know, they have the third baseman Alvarez up in a potential bunt situation. Phillies with a 2-run lead with Mayberry against a left-handed pitcher. You think he's swinging here? We'll see.
Mayberry's 0 for 3. Hit the ball well his last time up. Hit the ball well his first time up.
Oof. Takes a lot of first ball fastballs with men on base. It was a tough one, you know, but it's almost, he wasn't going to swing. It was right down the middle with that approach.
Victorino leads off second. Wiggins hit off first. Now it's 0-2. Wheels, I got some good news for you. Out in Denver, the Rockies have tied up the Nationals 3-3. Carlos Gonzalez has an RBI against Gio Gonzalez. 2 for 2.
Rockies will play better when they get home. It's just different out there.
See what they did with their pitching coach today?
No.
Bob Apodaca was reassigned.
Was he?
Jim Wright and Bo McLaughlin were named co-pitching coaches. Wonder if it has anything to do with the way they set up the rotation. Although, from what we understand, it wasn't his choice.
No, or whether Apodaca was saying, I don't know if I can deal with this.
Victorino spun his wheels. It remains 0-2. A good swing by Mayberry.
Right, and that's another one of those situations where you don't want him doing that with a right-handed hitter up there and 2 strikes on the guy because it's distracting. There's a difference between taking the lead and looking like you're going to run and stop and start real quick.
Now time is called. Mayberry will step out.
We really want to see John if he can drive the ball somewhere too. If you get something out of it, or the worst you get out of it is getting Shane over to third with a fly ball.
Watson turns and chases Victorino back to second. Grounder foul over the head of Samuel at the third base coach's box. All right, we got a foul ball. And now McHenry walks out to the mound. By the way, McHenry got hit with that foul ball yesterday in his throwing hand. And I asked Clint Hurdle today how he was. He said he's fine. He said it was bruised. He said that he was good to go. And the way he's swinging the bat, I don't think he wanted to be out of this ball game.
And that could have been very serious too, because that thumped him right on the back of the hand.
That's part of the reason why they were concerned with allowing Barajas to stay and not be put on the DL. I think tomorrow's a big day to see how that knee is healing.
Yeah, that's where they brought up another catcher.
Yeah, Eric Fryer, who is the backup catcher tonight.
That former Ohio State Buckeye.
How does that make you feel?
Kind of neutral.
Really? Foul ball.
Reading his biography today, he did a lot of good things for the Ohio State baseball team, and he is a graduate of the university.
So the runners lead off. Watson turns back and then throws. Victorino was inching off a little bit more. He may have been going on that one, and he may have just froze at the last minute. Inside, 1-2 the count. Good play by McHenry. Phillies have not announced their starter for tomorrow's ball game. Charlie kind of made it seem like he really didn't know. They hadn't really decided. Rich Doobie said the same thing. I think in their mind they have a list of guys that they're thinking about. It seems like they're leaning toward using a relief pitcher. A guy like Raul Valdez or somebody like that. 1-2 the count to Mayberry with runners on first and second. Another ground ball foul. He's staying inside there. The only pitch that was outside was the fastball for the first strike. That slider came inside again. There go the runners. The pitch swung on and missed. McHenry's throw not in time to get Victorino. Wigginton stopped. He didn't really see it right away. 18th stolen base for Victorino. First and third with one out now.
Yeah, get him over there.
Will pitch it.
Right, get him over there where a fly ball can get him in now. And as you said, Tom, Wigginton doesn't go there because that's not any play that's put on or anything. That's just Victorino goes, and then if the guy at first is comfortable, he'll go too. Now in that case he could have, because McHenry immediately threw to third. But you know what? He's already over there and he's not going to take any chances, and he stayed there.
I didn't think I think he spun his wheels and just thought, all right, you know what, I'm going to anchor myself here.
Well, you have to read that. You know, you just have to feel comfortable whether or not you can make it, because you have to worry about you being the trail guy that they're going to go after.
Luna, 280 hitter with 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Jim Thomey's out of the on-deck circle for the pitcher spot. And Luna fouls it away. It's 0-1. Again, a fly ball should score Victorino easily if Luna could do that. Now the infield is set up to turn 2. So a ground ball to the right or left a few steps, not just one, maybe 2 or 3, you know, could deflate the Pirates and not allow them to turn the double play.
That's the only thing about not stealing that bag there and following is the double plays in order.
Over to shortstop, that could be 2. Barmes to second for 1, and Luna is thrown out on a 6-4-3 double play. He nearly beat it out, but Victorino stranded over at third. We go to the 9th inning. It's time for Jonathan Papelbon with the Phils on top by 2. By Cure Auto Insurance, Ricky Vitalico offers his insights and analysis on this ball game. Look ahead at tomorrow's ball game and the possible return of Chase Utley to Citizens Bank Park. Again, Phillies post-game live presented by Cure Auto Insurance coming up right after the ball game. Michael Martinez is on to play second base. Hector Luna pinch hit for Mike Fontenot, and here's Jonathan Papelbon. Pap looking for his 18th save of the year. He just picked up his first blown save of the year in the series against the Rays. He has a 2-run cushion. He had a 2-run cushion that day too. Hasn't worked in the last few days. So 35 strikeouts in 28 2/3. On to face the bottom of the Pirates order. It's Barmes, McHenry. Those are the first two, 7-8. Presley has a bat. It looks like he may pinch hit after McHenry. Nationals have retaken the lead out in Colorado 4-3. Feels though their objective is to just win the series. They'll peek at the scoreboard. First pitch from Papelbon to Barmes. A fastball in at the knees. It's 0-1. Phillies got an inning out of Michael Schwimmer in relief of Vance Worley. Worley went 6+, allowed 3 runs. He's in line to win. Then after Schwimmer, it was Antonio Bastardo who pitched a scoreless 8th inning. Give those guys credit, both of those guys, for coming out here. Schwimmer worked out of a 2nd and 3rd nobody out jam, and his defense helped him there. And then Bastardo allowed a leadoff double, and boy did his defense help him after that.
You got 6 outs. You got the game to Papelbon. That's all you could ask. Doesn't matter how they did it.
0-2 the count to Barmes.
Papelbon go out there and pump strikes and get the first guy out. That can take a lot of momentum away from the team. First guy gets on, all of a sudden they're starting to feel better because the tying run has just approached the plate.
Talk about fighting the pitch off. That's exactly what Barmes did there. Barely anybody has left. They've shifted from one part of the ballpark to the other, getting ready for the fireworks. 45,096. A great crowd tonight. Tickets are available for tomorrow's game and Thursday afternoon's game too. The 0-2 pitch. On the outside corner, ring him up. 1 away here in the 9th inning.
Fastball, good location, get that first out. And Jonathan just kept throwing strikes to Barmes. Barmes was battling him, but he was around the plate with everything. See Barmes' reaction. He thinks this thing's low probably, but it's right across the knees on that replay. When the hitter looks down like that, it's usually the ball's low.
McHenry is 2 for 2. And he's up now as Barmes puts his batting gloves aside. Presley's out of the on-deck circle. A pitch hit. 1 ball, no strikes the count to McHenry.
Guy doesn't look like he has the greatest tools in the world. McHenry, But boy, he really battles in every phase of the game, and he's a smart player. You know, he's up there and he's going to stand there and throw him one strike because he wants to get the tie and run to the plate.
Well, he's ahead still 2 balls and 1 strike. Threw him a splitter. 2-2. It was up, but I think it surprised him.
Sure. And it was a called strike. A lot of times the splitter's out of the zone.
1 out away, or 2 outs away from finishing off the Pirates in game 2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Papelbon. In the air to left field. That is well hit. That is not coming back. It's a 1-run game.
It's a ball he hit last night. The wind knocked it down. Not tonight.
He's got 5 hits in the series now for McHenry. That's his 4th home run. So a 1-run game. Alex Presley is due up.
It looked like he challenged him, and it came running right back in the middle of the plate. And this time, McHenry says the park can't hold it again, can it? And no, it didn't.
Papelbon was already looking to see who the next batter was as McHenry was walking or trotting around the bases. It's Alex Presley, who started in left field in last night's ball game. Swing and a miss at a splitter. 0-1 the count.
He faced him once and struck out again.
Little high, 2-1. Tabata's on deck. Papelbon's ready. The 2-2 pitch in the air to left field. Playable for Mayberry. Not that deep. Over into the alley. 2 outs. So Jose Tabata is the last batter that stands in the way of Papelbon, and another save. And what a win this would be for the Phils. It would give them 2 wins to start this series.
Yeah, and they're facing James McDonald tomorrow, A.J. Burnett on Thursday, and their pitching's not set up quite as well, obviously, and those 2 guys are on pretty good rolls. Want to win this game right now.
Tabata's 0 for 3, hit by a pitch in the first. Polanco, the third baseman, even with the bag, a step or 2 away from it. That's what they've been trying to do all night. They've been busting him inside with at least that first pitch.
Yeah, and right now I don't think you should pitch anybody inside when a home run can win the ball game.
Center field, Victorino plays him over toward right center a little. The 1-0. Hit toward third, a foul ball, and it's 1-1.
It's Charlie about guarding the line, you know, with philosophy on it. You know, there's a lot involved, but he says he likes his guy to be able to do what's called a step and a dive, and that was a step and a dive, and that protects the line. And you can see Polanco took a step, dove, ball was foul. And that in his opinion is how far away you should be.
Down to the final strike. 1-2 the count.
It's a good pitch away. Who you want to be.
45,000 and change on hand here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies are trying to put a little run together here. They won the first game over the Pirates 8-3. Now they're looking for game 2. Marlins have lost. The Nationals are leading. The 1-2 pitch coming from Papelbon. And we'll do it again. Nice to see everybody standing into this final out. Got him. High fastball, swung on and missed. Tamina is struck out to finish off this 9th inning.